If you look at the surface of a calm lake, it seems completely peaceful. But beneath that glass-like reflection is a brutal, high-stakes ecosystem where predators violently strike from the mud to snatch passing prey. The creatures running this underwater gauntlet aren't fish. They're insects living bizarre double lives. They spend their early months, or even years, as submerged monsters before completely transforming into flying adults. This chart maps out their biological cycle. It begins with an egg dropped into the water, which hatches into an aquatic nymph called a naiad. From there, they transition through an intermediate stage before emerging as a winged adult. To survive this process, these insects have to literally rebuild their entire anatomy, swapping gills for wings to conquer two completely different physical environments. Look at this image of a mayfly naiad. It has a distinct spindle-like cylindrical body. You will typically only find these in clean, non-polluted streams and rivers. To extract oxygen from the current, the first 7 segments of its abdomen are equipped with 7 pairs of leaf-like tracheal gills. Once it is ready to leave the water, the mayfly deploys a highly unusual biological hack. It enters a sub-imago phase. It acts as a flying teenager stage, giving it wings to transition safely from the aquatic medium to the air before its final adult molt. But the adult phase carries an extreme trade-off. Their mouth parts are entirely vestigial, meaning they cannot eat. In fact, their biological order name, Ephemeroptera, translates to lasting for a day. They have just enough time to mate and drop their eggs before they die. The predatory stonefly requires a different environment, thriving in cool, fast-running water where oxygen levels are naturally elevated. When they emerge in the spring and summer, their reproductive strategy is aggressive and chaotic. As seen here, males will swarm a newly emerged ino, forming a dense mating ball. Once fertilized, she will lay anywhere from 300 to 600 eggs right on the water's surface. For these early species, the strategy is incredibly focused. Dedicate all your energy to aquatic development, then use a brief, explosive adult window to reproduce as fast as possible. Not every insect relies on speed. The northern caddisfly larva opts for heavy defense. It scavenges the riverbed to construct a portable armor casing out of decaying plant debris, minerals, and even empty snail shells. It carries this armor everywhere, eventually pupating securely inside it for weeks. When it finishes developing, the insect uses its mandibles to literally chew its way out of the casing and swims to the surface. That heavy armor is necessary because the water is heavily patrolled by the Odonata order, the apex predators better known as dragonflies and damselflies. You can easily distinguish the adults by looking at this diagram. At rest, a dragonfly holds its wings completely horizontally. A damselfly, however, folds its fore and hind wings vertically over its back. Underwater, their naiads share a highly offensive hunting mechanism. Their lower lip is modified into a prehensile organ called a mask. When a target swims by, this mask shoots outward to grasp the prey and drag it straight into chewing mouthparts. Looking at this image of a dragonfly naiad, you'll see a thick, heavily cylindrical body. Because it's so robust, it relies on internal rectal gills for respiration, pumping water in and out of its abdomen to breathe. Contrast that with the slender damselfly naiad shown here. Instead of internal gills, it extracts oxygen using 3 distinct leaf-like caudal gills extending off the very tip of its abdomen. In this predatory tier of the ecosystem, survival requires extreme anatomical engineering. You must either build an impenetrable physical defense or evolve inescapable offensive weaponry. Here is a technical view of the backswimmer. Its elongated keeled dorsal side perfectly supports its behavioral quirk, swimming upside down. Lacking gills, it survives by trapping atmospheric air inside hair-covered abdominal grooves, effectively carrying its own oxygen tank. Panning to its ventral side reveals its hunting tools. The dark belly provides camouflage against the deep water when viewed from above, and its head is equipped with piercing sucking mouth parts to drain its targets. Then we have the giant water bug. This is a massive, brown, predaceous insect that patrols fresh, standing water. Like the backswimmer, it requires surface air. It solves this with a pair of short, snorkel-like breathing tubes extending from the rear of its 10-segmented abdomen, allowing it to pull oxygen while remaining completely hidden. Its leg anatomy is highly specialized for this environment. The massive forelegs act as seizing claws to capture targets, while the mid and hind legs are flattened and covered in dense hairs to act as rowing oars. Finally, we have the predaceous diving beetle. It is characterized by its shiny, hardened forewings, known as elytra. These elytra protect the delicate, membranous flying wings folded safely beneath them, but they also serve a second purpose. When resting at the surface, the beetle traps a large bubble of air underneath these hard wings, allowing it to stay submerged for extended hunting periods. By engineering ways to bring atmospheric air directly into the depths with them, these specific insects bypass the biological limits of underwater respiration to function as living, predatory submarines. The biological engineering hidden in these waters is incredibly diverse. We see mayflies utilizing temporary winged teenager stages, dragonfly naiads deploying mechanical masks, and water bugs breathing through built-in snorkels. These are highly specialized survival machines. They possess the unique ability to conquer the heavy, pressurized realm of the riverbed and then completely rewrite their own anatomy to dominate the open air. So the next time you look out over a calm pond, remember the violent alien world operating just below the surface. Which of these underwater adaptations do you think is the deadliest? Let us know in the comments below.